Hey everybody, if you're a restaurant or hotel business, you know how crucial it is to manage costs without sacrificing quality. That's where FoodBuy, the largest GPO in the industry, comes in. With FoodBuy, you gain access to exclusive pricing, unmatched buying power, and a vast network of trusted suppliers, all designed to help you save time and money. Whether you're running a high-end hotel or a bustling restaurant, FoodBuy is your one-stop partner to streamline purchasing and get the best deals. Want to see how they're changing the game? Visit foodbuy.com today and take your supply chain to the next level. That's foodbuy.com, making smarter purchasing easier than ever.
Live from DirecTV Studios in New York City, it's the Hospitality Hangout podcast with the restaurant guy and the finance guy. DirecTV, keeping guests engaged, staying longer, and coming back for more. Jimmy, take it away.
I love it, I love it, I love it. I want to welcome you all more formally to the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders of Branded Hospitality Group share insights and bring innovation and technology leaders that are making things happen in the industry we love. My name is Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the Finance Guy, and I will send it back to my brother from another mother, Mr. Michael Schatzberg, also known as the Restaurant Guy.
And thank you for that kind introduction, Jimmy. And to all those listening, feel free to call me Shatsy. And we are the personalities behind Branded Hospitality. We're at the intersection of restaurants, hospitality, technology, capital, investing, influencers, coaches. Am I missing something?
Speakers, authors,
chairmans, entrepreneurs, and
that is some
thought
intersection.
Thought leaders. I mean, we got
intersection.
yeah,
That's why I'm here.
It's a major intersection.
That is some thought.
But Jimmy, before we get into it,
yes.
I got to just talk to you about something that's been on my mind it's been on my mind last night. I was watching. I'm late on Yellowstone. I'm a little late. So I'm just finishing up Yellowstone. Right. So I'm on season 5, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, wasn't that good? But you know what? I put a lot of time and energy into this Yellowstone. I got to finish. I got one more episode. I'm excited. So after I was done, I did 3 episodes last night. I was saying to myself, you know, what's so important at bars and restaurants? Jimmy, that's a question.
Sorry, I apologize.
I was thinking to myself, but then I was like, I'm asking you.
All right.
You know what's so important?
I'm going to say bars and restaurants. I'm going to say food and beverages.
Yeah, but you know what else? Customers. Customers are really important.
Yes.
How do you keep customers engaged in your restaurant? I mean, great food and beverage.
Great food and beverage.
But you know what else?
Yeah.
Great entertainment.
Great entertainment.
Sports,
ambiance,
and music.
energy.
Yeah. So I got to tell you, you know how you do that?
How do you do
DirecTV.
Oh.
You know why?
Why?
Because DirecTV powers like 5 million restaurants in America, maybe 10 million. Maybe it's 100
Actually,
million.
what percent of the restaurants and the bars? I think it's. I actually do.
By DirecTV?
No, are DirecTV customers at bars?
99.9. I spoke to Neil from DirecTV. He told me there was one bar, and he mentioned where it was. It was like in Nebraska. There's one bar that doesn't have DirecTV.
I think leave the numbers to me. I think your numbers might be high, but it is still outstanding.
Could you be more than 100%, like 105% of restaurants?
The super vast majority of bars and restaurants in this country are DirecTV customers, like in the 80%. Well into the 80s.
You have DirecTV?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, see? Yeah. Dave Meltzer's got DirecTV. He knows. He has DirecTV for business in his house.
There's the reveal.
In his house.
Dave Meltzer's our guest.
But I got to tell you, if you're a restaurant operator and you're thinking, how do I keep people in my restaurant or bar longer, more enjoying? You got to get DirecTV for business, by the way, because honestly, they have the best music, the best content. It's just everything. So that's my story, Jimmy. I'm sticking to it.
I like
DirecTV for business. I love it. You love it.
Boom.
And everyone needs to get it.
You know,
so, Jimmy,
that itself could make an episode. That could be the whole episode of the show this week.
That's it.
But you know what? Why don't we stick around? Because we really do.
We got more to talk about.
We do have more to talk about.
Let's
and
go.
We do have a fantastic guest.
I got my haircut, Jimmy. I'm feeling very bald right now.
You and me both.
Yes, by the way, why do you think I adopted the baseball hat?
Julie said I don't look good in a hat.
Listen, today Today on the Hangout, we get to welcome our friend, Mr. David Meltzer, the founder of David Meltzer Enterprises. He's an entrepreneur. He's a podcaster. He's a motivational speaker. He's an author. And there's more. And again, I think we're going to have a good time today. David is a friend of ours. We all have a cut from a similar cloth. And he's in studio with us, which is always the energy always is a little higher.
I'm not an author. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a chairman of an institute.
You are an entrepreneur. You are a podcaster.
What do we have in common? I feel like I'm a humanitarian. I feel like I'm a humanitarian.
So listen,
you know who would think I'm a humanitarian? Nobody.
So listen, before we jump in, we're going to do our little Trivia Tuesday game.
All right. Oh,
all you listeners know how this is played. I'm going to give you 3 factoids about our friend David. 2 of them are true. One of them is not true. Also, there's a lie.
Yes.
And a little later in the episode, Shazzy's going to guess which of the 2 truths and which was a lie. Okay.
I've been crushing.
Here are the truths for the youths. All right. Fact 1: David. And by the way, Shazzy, words matter.
Yeah, I don't have anything written down, so I have to write these down.
I want you to listen.
Yeah,
words matter.
I'm a great listener. You know that.
Yeah. Yes.
No one's better listening than me.
Okay.
What?
Here we go. All right. Fact 1: David is a L'Oreal model.
L'Oreal, like the hair products?
L'Oreal, like the hair products, the cosmetic company L'Oreal, like the big
L'Oreal Cosmetics.
David is a L'Oreal model. Fact 2: David ran
is a L'Oreal
Samsung phone division. He ran the Samsung phone division.
Well, that I know because he told me that.
Okay.
Like when I spoke to him, he told me.
You're already ahead of the game.
Yeah, well, he told me that one.
Fact 3: David was nominated for an Emmy.
Emmy nomination.
So there you go. Fact 1: David is a L'Oreal model. David ran the phone division.
But you know what? It's like
he was
the guy sitting right next to him. I'm like, he's not a model? I mean, that's like insulting. You know, if he wasn't here, I'd be like, so away, he's a L'Oreal model. You know what I mean?
David could kick your
hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
all right.
Okay.
I don't need to be offended.
I think
I'm looking at myself. I mean, close up.
Oh,
so you're not going to hurt my feelings.
He was. When he was 18, when he was 6.
Words matter.
He was a baby. He was like, it's like the Gerber baby. Yes, when he was 3, his mom, he was definitely.
Stick around to the end.
Like L'Oreal owns like
so
baby
I love this.
shampoo.
David is so excited because at this point, I'm going to pretend that we're going to bring David into the episode, but no. We're not.
No, because I got to tell you, because he's so famous, he's got so much under his belt. Yeah. It's like I got to go into the, I got to go and give a little bit of back history.
That's why we give
on
David
how do we get a guest like this.
We give him the comfy chair.
So, well, we've learned so much about David already. I don't even know why he's here. It's almost like we can just go without him.
Skittles, bro.
But he did go to Occidental College. He went to Tulane Law School, which Jillian went to Tulane. Yeah. My kid went to Tulane.
Yes.
I think David's daughter went to Tulane. Tulane's awesome, by the way.
Tulane's awesome.
If I could do everything all over again, I would have went to Tulane.
Smart move.
Did you graduate as a law school?
Yeah,
you
I did.
That was awesome, right?
I had to take the bar because of my mom as well. So Jewish guilt pervaded my.
Yeah, you got to be a lawyer,
There you go.
Doctor, lawyer, or failure.
Yeah.
And then 9 months out of law school became a multi-millionaire. Okay, didn't even get out of law school. Wait,
after 9 months,
just 9 months, a millionaire already. Okay. He builds some crazy house on the golf course, okay, with a ski mountain. I don't even know what it has to do with anything, but it's nice to know.
Success.
It's nice. Success.
No, I owned the golf course and the ski mountain.
He owned the golf course.
That was the problem.
So he's 22 years old. He's got a house, a golf course, a mansion, and a yacht. He's like Elmer Fudd. He's like Elmer Fudd, but he was a model.
It took more than 9 months to do all that.
Serial and entrepreneur. Let's see. CEO of Steinberg Sports and Entertainment, Jimmy.
You forgot a key point.
What?
You really, this is a key point.
Oh, he wrote 2 #1 best-selling book. No, I missed that.
Okay, by the way, so he's a multimillionaire. He owns the golf course. He owns the ski mountain. And then bankruptcy.
Oh, where's that? Did I see that?
Then bankruptcy. Yeah, because in America...
I don't want to be negative. I saw bankruptcy.
In America...
Yeah, you do.
Oh, we do want to talk about that?
Of course we
do. We're trying to keep this very uplifting.
No, it is uplifting.
It is uplifting. That's the whole point.
Then, after all the success, he files for bankruptcy. Yeah. He loses it all. But
over $100 million.
$100 million.
There you go, yeah.
Okay? And what does that teach you, kids? Don't buy a golf course over a ski mountain.
No, be the third owner of a golf course.
Yes.
That's the lesson. Be the third owner.
Yes.
Maybe we shouldn't be reading this. Maybe we shouldn't be. I got it all wrong. Well, he was the CEO. You were the CEO of Steinberg Sports.
We all love a comeback. Everyone loves the comeback story.
So this is a comeback story.
This is a comeback story.
I'm like the Rocky of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Should I go through it? So why don't we just get into it? I'm just going to ask you. So you were the CEO of so tell us a story about your bankers.
Yes.
Let's just talk about it. Here, let me do the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Meltzer, the chairman of the board best-selling book author, CEO of Steinberg Sports at some time. Bankruptcy many times. There's a lot of experience there. No. Podcast host, executive producer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Meltzer, golfer, skier, entrepreneur. How'd you do it?
I love you.
How's that?
I do thousands of interviews, and I can just leave happy because this is real, and I look for people that are real, that just like to have a good time. But also, as you know, my mission is to teach people from my journey to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun.
That's why I brought you in.
And that's why
you're helping Jimmy and I right now.
That's why I hang with you guys, because the more you hang with it, the more you learn. But I talked about my mom, and you guys may be familiar with Jewish moms. I had the ultimate Jewish mom, 6 kids, single mom.
My mom was 100% Hebrew.
Yeah. 100%. My mom was a black belt like yours probably.
Jimmy, is your mom?
My mom, there were 4 men in the house.
Your mom was not Jewish, right?
My mom was Jewish.
Was not Jewish.
3
sons.
Be
that successful.
3 sons and a husband, and my mom was 5'0" and a tower of power.
Yeah.
All 4 men in the house basically just followed orders. Don't mess with your mother. Don't mess.
Yeah, that we know. Your mom was not a tall woman.
Not tall woman, but ran that house.
Jewish women don't come very tall. Is that something genetically that we could modify with?
And by the way, none of us are very tall.
You just have to sleep with more women. We can modify.
You got to just
actually, just so you know, my daughter's out there who's not a very tall Jewish woman.
No, she looks about the right size.
Yeah, she looks like it. But I told all my daughters, 3 of them, I have one son who's 14, I said, I will only pay for the wedding if the boy is over 6 feet. I don't care what religion, color. I don't care. I don't care if he's unemployed.
You want tall kids.
I want that son.
So job didn't even matter.
I want the son playing at Ohio State, saying, "I love you, Dad."
There you go.
6'4".
I got to thank my father-in-law for giving me everything.
By the way, there it is.
I'm a grandpa, but yeah, it's okay.
I want to thank my grandpa.
Exactly. So all of you tall drink of waters out there, if you're standing over 6 feet tall, actually, the taller, the better, the more athletic. I'm telling you, there's a Mr. Meltzer's ready to pay for a wedding.
Wait, your daughter's married? Is she married?
No, she's 25.
Oh, okay. So listen, all you guys out there, if you're over 6 feet, apply now. Just email me, and I will say, is that a picture and your resume?
She looks like her mom,
or
so
no
you don't
job?
have to worry.
Does he have to have a job?
No,
you don't even have to have a job.
I give him a job.
Mr. Meltzer will give you a job.
I'll teach him how to be successful.
You can teach a lot of things. You can't teach height.
Exactly. Give it
can't teach height.
All right. So anyway, I have this 3rd-degree black belt in Jewish guilt mom, like you guys.
Yep.
And only time I wasn't happy was because of financial stress. My mom, 6 kids, single mom, 2nd grade teacher, literally drove us around filling us with a paper bag dinner so she could fill turnstiles at convenience stores so we could eat. Jewish guilt was everywhere, so my mom would cry outside of what she thought was my awareness because the car broke down and we couldn't go to summer camp. And I just had it in my mind, man, I'm going to be rich. I'm buying my mom a house and a car. Yeah. Everything's going to be okay. So never have to worry about money. So 9 months out of law school, I tried to be a professional football player at Occidental. Didn't really work out for me.
I don't understand why. You seem like you were built for football.
Yeah, you're right.
No, seriously.
I played tailback in college. I got off the bench. The coach is like, get your tailback on the bench.
By the way,
you're a good practice player.
Since we've already come out and talked about the Jewish guild and the Jewish mothers, let me take out a book on famous Jewish athletes. Let me take out the book here on a napkin.
There's the side. It's a big book. Jimmy, how many pages is that book?
Big book of famous Jewish professional athletes. Here we go.
Sandy Koufax.
Sandy Koufax, right?
Right.
I think there's a golfer on tour. I think there's one golfer right now.
Yeah, that's over millions of years. Okay. Anyway.
Not a big book.
I make all that money, 9 months out of law school, $1 million. 3 years later, my first exit, you guys will get this. I work for West Publishing, putting legal research online, despite the fact, this is for all you entrepreneurs out there. My mom told me the internet was a fad. It would never last. But even worse, when I started my job.
Very wise woman.
Yeah. Even more importantly, literally, Justice Scalia, I presented Westlaw, which was legal research online.
Sure.
I presented Westlaw to the Supreme Court of the United States. Justice Scalia looked at me. He's like, son, nobody will ever do research on a computer. You need books. And it took I'm like, holy shit. The most intelligent legal scholar in the world just told me nobody can do research on the internet. So next time some asshole tells you about AI not working, or you'll never use a credit card on the internet, or this auto driving shit's not going to work, think about how smart Justice Scalia is in his space. It wasn't outside of the industry. He's like the king of legal research, telling me you would never do that. So I actually.
So your mom was right or wrong about that?
She was wrong, but I learned.
By the way, at least she's in good company.
Right.
She's wrong with Justice Scalia.
But as Jewish boys, you better realize that the problem with Jewish moms is they love you too much. So they give you advice based off of fear, which is not good.
Right.
Good for
And
an
so just
entrepreneur.
because someone loves you doesn't mean they give you good advice.
Yes.
In fact, a lot of times they give you advice based on fear.
Yeah.
3 years out, though, we exit for 1995. You guys are old enough to remember.
Sure.
$3.4 billion exit to Thomson Reuters. They bought us. $3.4 billion for something that was a fad and that the greatest legal scholar told me would never work.
You know who knew the internet was going to be good? Thomson Reuters.
Right, they certainly did, and they've made more. It's kind of like buying the Celtics for $6.1 billion today. What a great buy that is!
my goodness.
If you don't think
So
that's
you got a
gonna double.
taste of that exit.
I got a taste of that exit in the early 20s, which was good and bad because it just confirmed to me money buys love and happiness.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize what it aggregates when you stop putting the right meaning behind the money. I always say money doesn't buy love and happiness, but it allows you to shop. And if you start shopping for the wrong you're in big trouble, like ski mountains and planes and bullshit.
I think it was a good idea.
It was a lot of fun.
How much is the ski mountain worth today?
Yeah.
Aha.
No, trust me, I have Montana property that would have been worth
See,
a
that's
lot.
like Yellowstone. That's
Exactly.
like Yellowstone. That guy, I mean, yeah, okay.
But
Don't
it's
get me started with
interesting, right?
Yellowstone
Because the
again.
money was always driving me. I got to marry my dream girl from the 4th grade. And the real harm was not just running all the companies, raising hundreds of millions of dollars, learning about finance, venture, and technology. So Leigh Steinberg, the most notable sports agent in the world, Jerry Maguire, I ran that firm. But what was interesting for me was he hired me.
So you sell the company, you make all this money. I told you a little.
I go to Silicon Valley. I go to Silicon Valley and learn about venture.
Got it.
So I work with Sequoia, Texas Pacific, Amarillo,
all the big guys.
and so I was a great salesperson. I'm like, shit, I can make way more money raising money. So in the middleware space, we started EveryPath, $169 million raise in the 90s, which led me to run Samsung's phone division, as you said.
Wait a minute, you can't say that.
Yeah, you can say it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I'm sorry, all listeners.
Keep playing.
This is such an honest
What if
podcast.
I'm lying?
It's true.
I could be that smart.
lying right
I could
now.
be that smart.
Oh,
A setup, right?
Could be, yes.
Right. So good. All right. Anyways,
So when do you get this to Leigh Steinberg?
so what happened was I moved out of. They kicked me out of Samsung because
Kicked you out.
Samsung
Why?
because I was a sales guy and it became a second largest manufacturer of phones in the world in 1999.
But that's because of you. You were selling so many phones.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can run that type of business. And I just didn't have that acumen. So they offered me the executive vice president of sales job to step down, to put a real CEO in place. And I said, no, pay me to leave. They did.
What they give you? How much they give you to leave?
I was
And what do they give you?
Well,
what do they give you?
I
Because
got-
Jimmy and I
I
are
got-
talking about exiting right now, and I'm just trying to get my
I got stock to leave.
How much
And
stock? What does a guy like that get?
I ended up with about $40 million.
$40 million to leave Samsung.
in stock.
They must
didn't
have really.
know it was worth that.
They
at the
didn't like.
time.
They really didn't like.
They didn't
you.
know it was worth.
They didn't like you. They're like, get rid of him. It was like
It was
Kramer.
probably about $4 million in stock worth.
We'll
at the
give him.
time.
We'll give him a new Android phone. You know, he doesn't take that. He doesn't take that. No, he doesn't take that. All
That
right.
stock that's not worth anything. Guess
Kramer,
what?
I'll take
Guess
it.
what? Guess
If you're
what?
gonna get
Something goes
fired,
up.
make him pay you. It's
Yes.
a good thing.
Yeah, but
And
that's a lot of money.
it was. So, anyways, I started, investing in the golf course, the ski mountain. With
After with the $40 million.
So then
I got it.
Leigh Steinberg, because everyone's like, how the hell do you go from running Samsung to Leigh Steinberg?
Yeah, tell us.
And-
That's what we want to know.
Because there's thousands of Jewish, average lawyers like me out there that went to Tulane and Georgetown and places that want to be sports agents.
Right.
He only hired me. First of all, I got along with him because my brother, who went to Harvard, is a genius, and Leigh Steinberg's a genius. So vibrationally, frequency, he vibed with me.
Yeah.
Because I lived my whole life with my younger brother, and they were
It's
identical.
osmosis.
They're
It's
identical
osmosis.
in energy. Little did I know he's a raging alcoholic, which he's admitted.
That's okay. That's okay.
He's healing.
Listen,
he's been
he's a
sober for a
person.
long time.
He's a person, too.
Someone I love. Anyway, he hired me because of my venture. This is how a genius he is. He said, the future of sports isn't in sports agentry, Dave. It's in venture and it's in technology. And I can't find someone with your background.
What year was this?
2006. So Warren Moon just
way
got
ahead of his like so far ahead of his time.
Yeah, and Warren Moon was a business partner, which attracted me, which ended up being
he was Warren Moon. I don't know the timeline. When did he?
Hall of Fame 2006, 2001
so
retired.
and
40. He was 44 when he retired. Held every record at the time when he retired.
Good looking guy too, if I remember. Warren
still
Moon,
is.
still
It sucks for me because he's 11 years older, and people are like, oh, you. Because I was partners with Warren for so long. They're like, oh, you guys high school buddies? I was like, no, he babysat me. He hates that.
Yeah.
Same with my wife.
You make him look a lot better looking. That's why he hangs around.
And you guys, by the way.
Yeah, that's why. 100%. I agree.
It's one of my greatest attributes. When you hang out with Dave Meltzer, you look beautiful. What else would you want?
I feel the same way, by the way. That's why we only started doing video on the podcast like last week.
That's good.
Because people are like, you guys are so ugly. I'm not sure we should be doing that.
And only one of you is wearing a hat.
We have faces for radio.
All right, so I don't want to derail. So go ahead.
So now I'm running.
Good. We're getting into
not only am I worth over $100 million, but I'm running the most notable sports agency in the world, which gave me, as you guys know in your business, especially in strategic hospitality, access.
Yep.
So I had unbelievable access that billionaires couldn't even had, and now I sat
every athlete,
every
owner,
sideline, backstage,
everything,
Emmys, Oscars, Grammys, Masters, Super Bowl, everything I had. So when we talk about having money and shopping for the right things, I was doing okay until I really got retired from Samsung or fired from Samsung.
Yeah, no, don't say retired.
Sports thing
you were fired. It's okay.
The sports thing set me over the edge because I always was using drugs and alcohol as part of the money and the fun.
That was the secret.
But it got out of control.
Well, you got $100 million.
Yeah, and I was exposed to it all the time. Yeah. Yep. Every day there's open bars. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so thank God for 4 people in my life. The early red flag, my father. When I was 30, I was just estranged from him. He left when I was 5. I wanted a relationship.
Because you said your mom raised you.
My mom raised me. He left, and he gave me a birthday present at 30. I was super excited because I'm like, oh, my dad really wants to have a relationship with me. He gave me a jacket, a sport coat, and I started to cry because it fit perfectly. I'm like, that's really thoughtful because, as you know, I'm not a model, so it's hard to find clothes that fit this body.
Model, you said.
You never know. I'm playing games with you guys.
Okay.
Here we go.
Definitely
so
a L'Oreal model.
Now you don't know if the Samsung thing or the L'Oreal thing. So I'm not a model, but this thing fit perfectly. I started crying. My wife, who was my dream girl from the 4th grade, said, what's the matter? I said, I think my dad really gets it. And then I opened up the jacket. He tore out all the lining and all the pockets. I went from such hope and joy that I was going to have this amazing father-son relationship to, once again, because of the money-based mind, called him, what are you doing? What kind of lesson are you trying to teach me? It's been 20 years since you've given me a birthday gift, and the first one is a jacket I can't wear. He goes, son, it's not for wearing. I'm like, exactly. Why would you do this? He said, because you're just like me. And that set me off. I was like, just like you're a liar, a cheater, manipulator.
Should I be writing this down?
Sure. Overseller, back-end seller.
Cheater.
Manipulator. Overseller, back-end seller.
Okay.
I'm nothing like you. Right. And he goes, son, you are running a race that's never going to end. Money will never buy you what you want. That jacket's going to remind you every day, just hang it. You can't take anything with you, brother. You have everything you could dream of. 3 beautiful girls. You have a beautiful wife. You can buy whatever the F you want.
Right.
Stop it. I told him to F off, hung up on him. 6 years later, I'm running Leigh Steinberg. The second red flag happened with my best friend, Robbie, who, by the way, since the 4th grade was my best friend. Yeah. And in 6th grade camp, I asked Robbie to ask my wife, because I've known her since 4th grade, to go steady with me. Most kids don't know what that means. That means to date her.
Yes.
And nobody else. Yeah. At 6th grade camp, she says no. He embarrasses me. So I throw an egg at her in the 6th grade. So she hates me from the 6th grade until I'm 26 years old, when I finally prove that I'm not the same kid that I was. So I'm married to my dream girl. I say to Rob, hey, let's go to the Masters with Wayne Gretzky, Warren Moon, and Joe Montana for a Netflix, or not Netflix, it was NetJets party, private, plane, everything. And he looked at me, he's like, dude, I'm not going. I was like, Rob. He said, what? I'm like, what do you mean you're not going? He goes, I can't go with you. I was like, we'll cancel it. He goes, no, I don't like who you are and who you're hanging out with.
Really?
And I was like, that's what I said, really? And I go, dude, I'm not doing what those guys are doing. He said, David, I honestly, as your best friend, you're going to die. And I'm not going to go, and I'm not going to support you. As much as I want to go to the Masters, as much as I want to meet Warren Moon and Wayne Gretzky and Joe Montana, your friendship and your life means more to you. And I looked at him and said, F you. You're not my real friend. How dare you talk to me? Everything I'm doing for you and have done. And he cut off my friendship.
Really?
My mom then, I called her.
It's a real friend.
I'm a real mama's boy.
feel like I
and
should
my
have
mom,
some
who's not as
music on.
aggressive as Rob, is like, David, you need to consider what's happening. She goes, I don't know, because I've tried to
You were
hide from my
spiraling.
mom.
You were spiraling.
Spiraling. And she, in her soft way, said, maybe you should listen to Rob. 2 weeks later is when my whole life changed. Little John, I was doing work with Little John the rapper. He invited me to the Grammy Awards. And my wife told me she didn't want me to go because I was partying too much, not paying attention to the family or work. And thought it was better I stayed home. I lied to her, actually changed clothes, went to the Grammy Awards, came home wasted at 5:30 in the morning. And in my mind, the biggest surprise of my life, she was sitting there waiting for me, crying, and told me she's not happy. I better take stock in who I was and what I want to become, and she was going to leave me because she couldn't be around what was about to happen in my life.
You were falling apart in front of her.
In front of her.
Yeah.
And those 4 people, if you would have said at that time,
So it was your dad,
my dad, my mom,
Rob,
my mom, and my wife.
and your wife.
And
wait, what's your wife's name?
Julie. Like Julie Zucker, but Julie Meltzer.
Yeah,
So,
no, Julie Meltzer.
yeah, so I immediately did the same thing. F you, get the went to bed.
There's a pattern here.
Yeah, woke up in the morning full of hate. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? No more money for my mom. I don't give money to my dad. Nothing for my friends.
Yeah.
And my wife, I'm going to get the best divorce lawyer in the world, and I'm going to show her. I'm going to take everything, including my kids. Right? I'm David Meltzer.
Yeah, exactly. I know Leigh Steinberg.
Here's
I
the
wrote
miracle.
A book crying out loud. Yeah.
Yeah, miracle happened. I'm crying on the bed, so full of hate. And I'm thinking, I hate my mom, I hate my dad, I hate my best friend, and I hate my wife. Them, everybody else loves me. What are they thinking? And I look over, and in my closet, I hadn't seen it, thought about it.
It's the jacket.
That was it.
The jacket. I knew the jacket.
From the guy that literally left me.
See the jacket.
And I saw the jacket. I still get choked up.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I don't hate my dad. I don't hate my mom, Rob, or my wife. I'm a liar. I'm a cheater. I'm an overseller, back-end seller. I hate myself. And so from that point, I started taking stock in who I was through values and practices and how I was going to execute on those in my pragmatic Napoleon Hill way. You know, all of those things I learned pragmatically. And I begged my wife to allow me to prove to her I could change and be the person she married. Here's this will tell you who my wife is more than anything. My wife said, absolutely, you have to make me one promise. You need to fire these 3 friends from your childhood because you just don't know how to say no to them.
Really?
And then 2, I need to see you trying. If I catch you drinking, not going to leave you. If I catch you using drugs, I'm not going to leave you. If I catch you at a strip club, I'm not going to leave you. As long as I see you trying.
A stripper in bed.
Yeah, that won't work.
Okay.
Or use
That was the benchmark. That's what the benchmark was.
At that time, my bedroom in Rancho Santa Fe had 2 bathrooms in the master.
Right.
The ultimate was if she caught me on her toilet, everything ends.
Oh,
there's a
so
chance.
drinking drugs.
There's
is
a
fine.
chance with a stripper.
Use my toilet.
There's a chance with a stripper.
Don't use my bathroom.
If I use her toilet,
I can see that.
So,
Yeah.
but she told me, which inspired me more than giving me an ultimatum. She said, "I believe in you." And I know I've seen you since literally you were in 4th grade.
Right.
When you put your mind to it, I know you can do anything. And I love you for that. As long as I see that. And here I am 18 years later, now 19 years, I guess, from 2006. And that's what allowed me. She knew the bankruptcy was going to come sooner or later because she knew all the effed up things I was doing.
Right.
Here's the other one thing that just recently hit me so hard. It broke my heart. That night when I went to bed, my wife's last words to me, if your mom knew who you really were, imagine that, you. That was her last words to me when I went to bed. My mom died 3 weeks ago, Wednesday, so almost exactly. When I eulogized my mom, now 19 years later, from that statement, my wife on the way out said, your mom would be so proud of who you are.
That's beautiful.
And she knows everything about me.
I mean, Melts, you're choking me up now.
No, I really. First of all,
Usually the most uplifting podcast ever.
Look,
I don't usually get that. We're getting really. This is heavy, Jimmy.
Not heavy. It's real talk. We're having
real
a
talk.
real conversation. I think it's
talk.
awesome. And
This is the hangout.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is
thank
what
you
we're
for
about,
hanging out.
man.
Thank you for
I feel
sharing
comfortable
it.
with you
No,
guys.
you can.
And look, I got to tell you, I think about the people in my life who are always on my shoulder and reminding me of how I'm supposed to behave, what I'm supposed to do. True character is how you behave when no one's watching. And then your mom and Robbie and
my dad and
your
Julie.
dad and your wife help set you, and to a certain extent, didn't just set you on the right path. I think they all felt you might be dead if you didn't.
They would
so what great people you have in your corner. And thank you for sharing it, because I think you're real, you're authentic, and we're having a real conversation. How good is that? I wanna jump into a few things with you, if that's okay.
Yeah, everything's
because I think your journey has been amazing, and one of the things I think it dovetails into. That's why I interrupted you, Schatz, to bring in the bankruptcy, because your journey has been amazing, both financially as well as emotionally and spiritually. It's been quite a ride, and in our industry, we're hospitality guys, and we invest in tech and operate restaurants, but there are a lot of times where people are on a good run, and you had that early good run. And by the way, maybe your life was saved by that bankruptcy as well. But,
For sure.
I guess my question is, in our industry, we see a lot of people, sometimes it's celebrity chefs, sometimes it's hot technologists, and they're riding high. And things change. And sometimes, the people around you, when you're getting too big for your bridges, sometimes they almost want to see the change. But I actually believe America loves a comeback story. So talk about, not just the humbling setbacks, but if you could advise other entrepreneurs, how to be mindful of their own journey when they're flying high. Are there things that they should be thinking about? Because the fall is not so uncommon. The higher you go, it's not so uncommon that obviously you take your eye off the prize, your eye off the discipline of the ball. Maybe what advice would you give to people that are on a meteoric rise?
Yeah.
And what should they be mindful of? Maybe you could help them not.
Is there a question in there, Jimmy?
Yes. How could you help them? What advice would you give to entrepreneurs that are on the rise?
Yeah, in anyone, whether it's an entrepreneur, an athlete,
Yeah.
right? I dealt with that a lot. I put a quote next to my bed and carry it around with me, and it's a reminder that you're either humble or you're about to be. And as much as that quote sits
right.
with me,
You're right.
it hit me when my mom passed me. My mom was in hospice. I was ready for her to die. I had a perfect ending to her life where she said goodbye to me, kissed me, told me she loved me. You could have, and I left, and my wife's like, "Are you going to be okay when she does pass?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm ready." My dad had died. I'm ready. No, I should have looked at the quote the next time I was supposed to go see her, because it dropped me to my knees, man. My heart broke, and it just reminded me of when I was flying high.
Yeah.
That there is an element of wisdom that's needed when you're flying high. So you need to surround yourself, not just with this bullshit statement of you're the aggregate of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Look, my wife spent the most time with 4 kids under 10. That wasn't her. That was not the aggregate of her.
Yeah.
Right.
But I say, as an entrepreneur on the rise, you better be well aware of the teams you're playing on and the position you're playing, because there's always a better point guard that can give you tips, and there's always some second string kid that you can help get to your position.
Yep.
Dude, I love the sports in that. Jimmy, last night, no joke, Jimmy and I sat last night, and he was dropping sports analogies. He loves that.
I
And starting. And
I think this is what we do. Anyone can embrace this if you want to. I love sports, and I actually think professionally this is my cerebral sport. And if you think of it that way, especially if you enjoy sports, I feel the analogies you're using, but the team sports, the roles people play. I was actually specifically talking about basketball uniquely because the same 5 guys on the court.
You said it wasn't football,
right?
And it wasn't baseball.
Well, I used to say
you gave reason. It was very interesting.
I used to say that finance was, and the sport I'd use was baseball, because it's the only major U.S. sport with no salary cap. And I feel in football and hockey and basketball, you can't compete with money. You got to compete with other things. And you can see which teams continually have success. And it's not because they spend the most.
Right.
Respectfully, in baseball, there's no cap, but you can pay a tax. So there are the haves and the have-nots. But I was thinking about what we're doing here at Brandon and what some of our other companies are doing, our portfolio companies. And I said, actually, the sport is basketball. Because on the basketball court, the 5 guys, you're playing offense, you're playing defense, you're playing transition. The 5 guys in the court, there's no specialist. There's no football, offense, defense, baseball. Oh, the reliever who pitches to one, who pitches to the big left.
Yeah, bring him in for one batter.
But in basketball, same folks, maybe even in hockey too, transition. So my comment is we're playing basketball right now that you have to stick up for each other. You got to help each other in every sense of the way, because you'll only be as strong as a team to the weakest player in your quarter, how they're behaving.
So, you know Mike Tannenbaum.
Yeah.
So Mike and I went to law school together. I've done a lot of business. We have our own show together called Executive Football Talk. And when we were the quarterback factory, Mike Tannenbaum said, here's what's interesting about quarterbacks, Dave, is their skills and their knowledge of football are their basement. And it's their desires, the Warren Moons, Tom Brady, Steve Young. And so I asked Leigh Steinberg, who has represented more number one quarterbacks in the world, probably more quarterbacks than anybody in the world still to this day. And I said, what do you think about that? He said, here's what's interesting, Dave. The 2 most talented quarterbacks that he ever represented was Jeff George and Ryan Leaf. Talent.
Right.
He said, but yet Warren Moon, Troy Aikman, and Steve Young are known as the best quarterbacks he ever represented. Pretty good quarterbacks.
Yep. And I think
because
name
of
recognition too,
right.
like Ryan
because
Leaf,
of that
no
delta.
Yeah.
And so if you look at my football career, my basement was so low that even if my delta was greater than Ryan Leaf's, I wasn't even close to his basement.
Yes.
And in business, utilizing these sports analogies, it changed my entire perspective of business, because I made people fail. Because I put a running back to play quarterback. Or
absolutely,
I took a kicker and tried to make him a center.
Right.
No, they're athletes, but first of all, that doesn't mean they can play every
And they had
sport.
huge deltas. Like they were desire guys.
Even in the same sport, you can't put someone in the wrong position, or you're putting them in a position to fail.
For sure. And this delta is really interesting, because people ask me, because yes, I've been blessed to be around billionaires, millionaires, entrepreneurs like yourself, and athletes, celebrities, entertainers, the top in the world. You know, the unbelievable people that if I mention your name, everybody knows who that person is.
Right.
The one common denominator between Tillman Fertitta and LeBron James and Kevin Hart or whoever it is, a desire that they must be what they can be.
Yep.
And that's all I look for. Then it's my job, if you have desire, to understand what position to put you in.
Dig it.
I got to tell you, I heard we got to get David out of here at 1 o'clock hard stop. We really.
Well, that's why you stopped the clock. It's been on the same time.
No, the air conditioning was on, and it like turns on it. It's right here, but we got to get to we got to get to some stuff here. Yeah, well, it's this is real talk. I mean, Jimmy and I got to be honest with you. This is real stuff.
Well, can I keep going with something? You want to jump in?
No, go. Keep going, Jimmy.
Yeah,
I'd like to get to.
He's HVAC.
We do have to get to at some point the 2 truths, because we made such a big deal about it.
Okay, all right.
So,
but I want to strap. I want to.
And I do have some questions to ask.
Okay,
but go.
Let me ask one question.
Hey, whatever you want, Jimmy. Hey, listen, Jimmy. This is our show.
Our show. And David, all of this is coming now from the real talk we're having. You have 4 principles. Anyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed with lists. I love lists.
You'll love me then.
Love lists.
Love
and you have 4 principles. First of all, I love it. Core 4. Here are your core 4 principles: gratitude, empathy, accountability, and effective communication. And I think I saw them, I read them, I was thinking about them, I was relating them to myself and Brandon, and how these are particularly interesting. They're so relevant to, first of all industries, but we're hospitality guys, and we're witnessing this massive shift in restaurant culture right now. How would you advise restaurant leaders, or just leaders, to apply these 4 principles?
There's so many changing circumstances in the hospitality industry. Every day, so many different variables and circumstances. Mm-hmm. How we react react to the circumstances. We need, and this is what I wrote about in Connected to Goodness. By the way, I'm going to tell everyone in your audience, if anyone wants this book about these principles, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I will sign it, send it to you, pay for shipping and the book. So it's not, hey, get a free book, but give me $12 to ship it. I will do that. But here's the thing.
Look at that offer, huh?
Gratitude. Think about this in hospitality. Gratitude gives you perspective. So no matter what the circumstances are, you're finding the light, the love, and the lesson in it. What's going to increase your hospitality business more in any of the aspects of hospitality than gratitude? 2, empathy. It gives you ease. It gives you ease. Empathy allows you not to put your feet in the other person's shoes, but to truly understand how you could be of service or value and how you can ask 2 questions. 1, would it help you if? That's a very empathetic thing to say. Mm-hmm. Or do you know anyone that helps me, that can help me? That's
what about shut? Is that empathy?
Yeah. In New York, maybe. And then 3, we all know in business, especially hospitality, accountability, but I have a different perspective of accountability. Accountability gives you control in your life. And the reason it gives you control is it forces you to utilize forgiveness and gratitude by finding what you're supposed to learn from it. So the questions to ask are, of course, in business, what do I do to be responsible? What am I supposed to learn so it doesn't happen again? But most people don't take it to the real level. What did I do to attract this to myself? And what am I supposed to learn from it? And then the most important one, especially in hospitality, because it's a world of illusions and perceptions, what perception am I participating in this? Right? Just because this guy's having a bad day, I have an opportunity to change my perception of him and his perception of me by saying, what am I doing to participate in this perception that this guy's an a-hole? And what am I supposed to learn from it? And when we can forgive and be grateful for your perceptions of others, your life becomes easy, not distance.
I got to get this book. I got a lot of
Connected to Goodness. Email me.
Jesus,
I'm getting.
I'm going on Amazon. I want the book.
Free. No, don't buy it.
Is there a movie?
Not yet. The Dave Meltzer.
If you turn it into a movie,
Bernie Maguire. That's what we'll call it. Weekend at Bernie's compared to Jerry Maguire.
It. I got it. It's really great principles, Jimmy.
I really dig it. I'm going to make one more thing in the chat.
Because I think that this week in your newsletter, I know you're going to be not stealing, borrowing, footnoting, and using Meltzer quotes here
with absolutely recognition. David, one of your key mantras is make a lot of money and help a lot of people. And maybe I butchered it.
No, it's to have a lot of fun. Yeah,
it's to make a lot of people, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun.
By the way, great mantra.
So my work hard, play hard, but. Can you expand? It resonates so much with me, but how? Explain a little bit about clearly from your career and your personal life. This is it's manufactured into this. Make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Can you expand on that a little bit?
I think it's important to notate I put make a lot of money first because I actually sponsored my kids' high school football field and put that logo on it. They would not put the mantra. They switched it. And I think it's important. We have to tell our teachers and our leaders that's not how the universe works.
Yep.
You give more to be given more, to receive more, and ask for more than more, so you can give more than more, be given more than more, receive more than more, and ask for more than more.
It's not a bad thing to make money.
But most people think it's a zero-sum game. Yep. So they're like, give to receive. That doesn't happen unless you know what you're given and you actually feel worthy of receiving and even ask for it or even ask for more. So make a lot of money is really the idea of being abundant. So if you have a lot of money in the human experience, you can help a lot more people.
Yes.
Makes a lot of sense.
Even if your whole life is like Mother Teresa. You know what Mother Teresa's net worth was when she died? $112 million. Google it. Why do you think that is? Because she understood abundance. She knew the mission would bring the commissions.
By the way, what do they tell you in an airplane? If the airplane has challenges and they drop the airbags, what is the first piece of advice they give you?
Put it on you first, then your kids.
You can't help anybody if you're not there to help them.
And if you have more than one kid, take the one with the most potential, do them next.
Right. Yes. Yes.
I'm not putting on the ugly kid.
Only the tall kid.
Good looking kid. This guy over 6 feet, they put it on him. I agree.
Dad, why are your son-in-law? Why are you putting it on him first?
Yeah. All right, so I got to take a quick break. I got to take a quick break. Stick around. Be right back.
Hey, everybody. If you're a restaurant or hotel business, you know how crucial it is to manage costs without sacrificing quality. That's where FoodBuy, the largest GPO in the industry, comes in. With FoodBuy, you gain access to exclusive pricing, unmatched buying power, and a vast network of trusted suppliers, all designed to help you save time and money. Whether you're running a high-end hotel or a bustling restaurant, FoodBuy is your one-stop partner to streamline purchasing and get the best deals. Want to see how they're changing the game? Visit foodbuy.com today and take your supply chain to the next level. That's foodbuy.com, making smarter purchasing easier than ever.
All right, we are back. We are back, and we just got a news that we are going to go right to which came first. This comes from Julie. Producer Julie said, which came first? Here we go. Jimmy, you can play along, too.
I
don't have the answers, do you?
I do not have the answers.
All right, which came first, Dave Meltzer? Are you ready? Which came first, Facebook or LinkedIn?
Facebook.
Jimmy, you care to opine?
I simply agree.
You agree?
I agree.
I got to tell you, LinkedIn 2003.
Ooh, Mark Kwame's going to be pissed
I don't make
at me.
the rules.
I thought, and that kind of when he was at Harvard, Zuckerberg was at Harvard.
Yeah, I don't know. It says here, Julie. Can you fact check that, Julie? I'm getting a lot of pushback here. I'm getting a little pushback. All right, which came first? The launch of ESPN, Sports Guy.
Yep.
Or Michael Jordan's NBA debut? Michael Jordan playing basketball?
ESPN.
ESPN.
What year? Well, what year did Jordan start?
Jordan was 1982 or 83.
84.
Oh,
84.
Very close.
Okay.
ESPN?
78?
79?
Yeah.
Because I feel like they were doing it was like rodeo or like drag cars or something.
The original ESPN was like today's The Ocho.
Yeah, it was
like,
really.
They didn't have any content.
There's a lot of Justice Scalias out there saying nobody will ever
watch that. Which came first, okay? McDonald's drive-thru or the first Starbucks? McDonald's drive-thru or the first Starbucks?
Drive-thru.
I'm agreeing with Meltzer.
I got to tell you, it's Starbucks.
Wow.
1971 was the first Starbucks.
Schultz was early.
76. What was?
No, I don't think.
I
don't think Schultz. I don't think he came back from Italy or something,
right?
And he went there and bought it.
When was the first?
1975 McDonald's drive-thru.
Okay, I literally thought Starbucks was 76. I thought. Anyway, all right.
Dave.
We're not good at this.
By the way,
Jimmy and I aren't good at this.
We got 1 for 3, but in baseball, we're Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
we are confirming.
I'm Tony Gwynn of this game.
Yeah, we just went onto our Google or wherever she got it from, and it's 2003.
All right.
Yeah.
LinkedIn. All right, there you go. All right, there we go. All right, real quick. Let's see. We got Julie.
Quick fire.
Let's go.
Julie was right, by the way.
What about
that was
match
fun.
game? Jimmy,
All
you got to get to the match game real. All right, okay, all right, there we go. Oh my goodness! All right, Brandon, quickfire.
Producer.
All right, Brandon Meltzer's got a big day ahead of him. Okay, here we go. Brandon quickfire. Here we go, Mr. Meltzer. Are you ready?
Yes.
Favorite all-time athlete?
Tony Gwynn.
Ooh, just said that. What was the last thing you Googled? or searched?
What is the hospitality headline?
Why am I doing ChatGPT? No. Why am I doing this?
Ace Barbershop to schedule my haircut tomorrow at 8
Ace
a.m.
Barbershop. That's a big shout out to Ace Barbershop there in L.A., right?
No, here.
Oh, Ace Barbershop here in New York City.
Before I have to go to a wedding.
All right, we will be there. If you had dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Jesus.
Jesus.
I think it's Jesus.
Like Jewish boy.
What? Jesus.
Yes.
What? Who?
Jesus.
What?
I mean, easy.
Jesus.
Think how much I could solve if
All
I met with Jesus.
Everybody in the back. See, right? Okay.
I can
Last
solve
one.
so much.
History of the world.
Airline loyalty or hotel loyalty? What do you do?
Airline loyalty.
And what is your airline of choice?
Delta.
If you were to challenge Jimmy Rydell bowling, who do you have better odds of beating? Does David like bowling? Is that why? Are you a big bowler?
Choose wisely. I'm telling you.
10-1.
10 to 1. Say you're going to have an easier time beating shots. This guy.
Are you a good bowler?
I can roll.
Jimmy's
So
a good bowler.
I have.
Are you a good bowler?
It was a sucker bet. I was born in Akron, Ohio, home of Fair Lawn Lanes, the birthplace of bowling. My mom, 260 average.
Really?
Who
She had a ball with her name on it, right?
I didn't say I
She
could
had the
beat
bag
you.
and stuff?
I didn't say I could beat you. I said I could beat Shaq.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's right. But I use I bring out that thing.
Yes.
You know?
That you'll win with that.
Yeah, that
with
thing
that
gets
thing.
me good aim. All right, wait, I got one more thing.
Oh.
How do you take your bagel? How do you take your bagel?
You're not gonna like this. It has to be a New York bagel.
New York bagel.
dry and toasted.
Dry and toasted.
I
no
love
butter,
it.
no
Nothing on
like
it?
a pretzel. It's like a salt bagel. I like it dry and toasted.
Really? All right, Jimmy, we got to wrap it up. I'm getting pressure here. I got people at the door.
Yes,
I got people at the
understand.
door right now.
Listen,
Holy cow.
My team's tough.
Yeah, holy
It's called
cow.
student of your
They're
calendar.
tough but fair.
They're nice.
I want to thank David, you doing the podcast with us and really making this a really wonderful and real discussion conversation.
It's our first real discussion, I think.
And I think it was great, and I so appreciate it. And from our listeners out there, there's a lot of knowledge that's been shared and experiences. And if you want to get in touch with David directly, you can email the podcast team at podcast@brandedstrategic.com, and we'll connect you with David and his
But what's
team.
his website to find all the coaching and all your mentoring? What's the
Email
website?
me directly, david@dmeltzer.com. I answer
David
all my
at
emails.
D. Meltzer. And he
does.
answers.
Oh,
He
what's
doesn't
the
have
truth,
some
though?
service.
What's the truth? You got to finish with the truth and the lies.
Oh, yeah. We got to go back to that. We
All right.
have to. Julie,
All right.
it's executive.
My team won't be mad.
It's
Go ahead.
executive decision.
All right,
Executive decision.
so let's remember, early in the episode, top of the show, I said we had 3 factoids, and
What were they?
L'Oreal,
L'Oreal model.
Samsung
Samsung
Samsung.
phones.
and Emmy Award.
And
A nomination.
nominated for an Emmy Award.
I
I
think
didn't win
that
one.
he was not a L'Oreal model. He isn't now. He is not. He is a L'Oreal model. He may have been at some point in his life.
Okay.
When he was 2, he was
Yeah.
adorable as a baby.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened to the
All right.
guy, but he was adorable.
So Shatsy's saying
he
at
was
present-
is not a L'Oreal model
you are-
now.
At present, the lie is you are not a L'Oreal model.
But he does tell me Emmy. Yeah, of course he got Emmy nominated. The guy is a
All right.
rock star.
I love it. So
Yeah.
the truth is, I am a L'Oreal model for their gray away product called Camouflage.
Wait a minute. Did I see you on a
How
commercial?
cool- They have a commercial of me and ads.
Son of a-
So people, my wife loves it because she uses that as a party trick. And I never, but I will be someday. I'm manifesting it. Nominated for an Emmy soon. I will be with all our TV shows.
Boom.
I got
Boom.
to tell you, man. I got to
I'm
tell you,
so
I got
glad
it
we
wrong.
stuck with that. That's
I
so
gotta
good.
tell you, look at that, huh?
That's so good.
So we're going to be able to say that we had an Emmy winner on the show.
That's the lie. That's the L'Oreal model on the
L'Oreal
show.
model is
But no,
yes.
but not yet.
No, I am a L'Oreal
He is a
model.
L'Oreal
But you're
model.
gonna win an Emmy.
Oh,
you
Jockey.
just said you aspire.
Oh, yeah.
you
You're a
aspire.
manifester.
So I said we're
You've
going
read
to
my
say,
book.
yeah.
You've read my book.
Yes, I read the what's the inside.
Manifest what you
no,
want.
The back where it just tells about how great the book is. All right, listen, wrap it up, Jimbo.
Yes,
I'm getting pressure. I'm getting pressure. I got
thank
me too.
David. I want
I
to thank Mr. Meltzer and his team because they're being patient with us, and we appreciate that for being on the show, having some good fun with us, and really dropping some insights and knowledge. Please stick around. Next week, we'll have the talented Mr. Fred LeFranc of Results Through Strategy, one of our friends, one of our partners,
Wow.
and one of the wicked smart gentlemen of the hospitality industry. You won't want to
best
miss it.
dressed guy in the biz.
And that's it. Shatsy, I'm passing it back to you.
All right, I
Not
got to
before
tell you, this
saying
was great. Thank you, Mr. David Meltzer. Cheers,
Thank you.
everybody.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you.